Okay, today we will be learning how to find the areas of composite figures. Before this, we've learned about perimeters, and now we're moving on to areas. Now let's take a look at this picture. In the middle, we have a composite figure made up of a rectangle and a square. And on the left, we have this square that says that his head occupies 25 square meters. So that means the area inside here is 25 square meters. Sorry, square centimeters. And on the left, we have a rectangle. And the rectangle says my head occupies an area of 32 centimeters squared. That means the area of this rectangle's head is 32 square centimeters. So what about us, says the composite figure? How do we find out what the total area of this composite figure in the middle is? Okay, so let's find out how we're going to find areas of composite figures. Now, the first step that we need to do is to find and label all unknown sites. So let's take a look at this figure. Okay, let's first find this unknown site here. How do we find this site? Take a look to the right and we see that it is made up of 4 and 7 cm. So for the one on the left here, this is actually 4 cm plus 7 cm, and that will give us 11 cm. So this length here is 11 cm. And then we need to find all this. Okay, so the one on top here, okay, actually it's already given, is 8 cm. Now how about these two? They are exactly the same length because it's given here, indicated that they are the same length. And now I look to the right and I can see that it's actually 7 cm. So this is 7 cm and this is also 7 cm. Okay, so we're done with step 1 and now we can move on to step 2. Okay, step 2, we are going to split up the composite figure into simpler shapes. And we are going to work with squares and rectangles. Okay, so we're gonna see how we can split up, or we can say cut up the figure into squares and rectangles. All right, so the first way, okay, we can do vertical lines. So I'm going to cut this over here and over here. And now can you see that now I have 3 rectangles? Okay, let me show you. I have one rectangle here, and then I have another rectangle here, that's 2, and finally a third one here. So I split this composite figure into 3 other rectangles. Now the other way I can do it is to cut it horizontally. So I can cut here and I can cut here. And I will also get 3 rectangles. So I have I have one rectangle here. Then I will have a big rectangle at the top here. And finally a third one over here. So in both ways, I'm still cutting up the figure into 3 simpler shapes or 3 rectangles. Okay, so we are done with splitting or cutting up. Now let's move on to the third step. The third step is to find the area of each simple shape and we're going to add them up. Okay, so we're going to plus them all together. So to make this easier, I'm going to label or name the simpler shapes. So I'm just going to name them A, B, and C. Okay, let's do the first way first, okay? So let me zoom in to the first method. First way, okay, so let's find the area of rectangle A first. So A, Remember, area equals to length times breadth, right? Okay, so the length of rectangle A is 11 cm. I'm going to multiply by 6 cm. So 11 times 6. And that will give me 66. Okay, so area of rectangle A is 66 cm squared. Now I'm going to do rectangle B. Sorry. Okay, so B, I have the length of 8 cm and the breadth is, if I look across, is 4 cm. So I have 8 times 4, and that will give me 32. Okay, and then for BC, length is this long one here, which is actually same as here, 11. And the breadth is 3. So 11 times 3, that gives me 33. Okay, so this is what we will do first. Find the areas of all the simpler shapes, A, B, C. And then the second part is to add them all up. So we're going to take A plus B plus C. And that will equal to 66 plus 32 plus 33. Okay, so what would that give us? 66 plus 32 is 98. And 98 plus 33, that will give us 131. Okay, so the area square centimeters. Okay, now let's check if we do the second way, will we get the same answer? Okay, go on to the fourth outline. So I'm going to label them as A, B, and C. Right, so let's find the area of figure A. We have the length 7 cm and breadth 6 cm. So we take 7 times 6 and we get 42. Then B, okay, the length is 17 and the breadth is 4. What will we get? 17 times 4, that will give us 68. Okay, and then finally for C, the length is 7 and the breadth is 3. 7 times 3, sorry. 7 times 3, that gives us 21. Okay, so let's add all of them up. We have A plus B plus C. 42 plus 68 plus 21. So let's add them all up. All right, we get the same answer. 131 square centimeters. So either way that you split it up, as long as you add all the smaller areas together, you should get the correct answer. Now this method, we call it here split and add method. This is method 1. Now actually there's a second method and I'm going to show it to you. We call this the take away method. So take away means, do you think it's plus or minus? Take away means to subtract. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a big area minus away a small area to get our answer. So now if you look at the composite figure, actually it is taking this big rectangle and removing this small one in a small little rectangle or square. But actually, okay, it's a rectangle because all the 4 sides are not equal. So it's actually taking the big blue rectangle outside here, taking away the small rectangle here. When we remove this pink one, we can get our composite figure. Okay, so I'm going to find the area of the big one first. So area of the big rectangle is, is 17 cm times 11 cm. So big rectangle, the area is 17 times 11. And what will we get? Let me do the working. Remember the total head. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. Then I leave my 8 and multiply. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. And I add them up. So I get 187. Okay, 187. Then I need to find the area of this smaller rectangle. So small rectangle is actually, you can see, is 7 times 8. So I'll take 7 times 8 and that will give me it's not 64, sorry, 56. Okay, so take away. So we're going to take the big minus small. So I take 187 minus away small, which is 56. What will I get? So 7 minus 6 is 1, 8 minus 5 is 3, 1 minus 1 is 1. I get 131. And look, my answer is still 131 square centimeters. So either way, if you use the takeaway method or the split and add method, you will get the same answer. So it depends on which one suits you better.